All right, hello everyone. Today we have a special guest today, and today the topic is going to be talking about situationships and how you can find yourself getting in a situationship, and how sometimes that can be something that is very toxic for you, even if you think that this is something that is a deal breaker. And we're going to talk to someone today that has been in a situation like this and see what her take is on it. How are you doing today? This is Lashea Jackson.
Yes.
Tell us a little
And
bit about yourself and your situation.
well, my name is Lashea Jackson. I am a divorcee of 1 year, and I have two daughters, Sophie and Rita Israel. They're 8 and 9 years old. I think it's been 8 months with my new podcast, Shay's Heart to Heart, or short for Shay's Heart. And honestly, I've just been through a lot of different really bad relationships
Hmm.
that I've caused, or like a lot of different things that a lot of patterns, unhealthy patterns within myself.
Yeah.
And so now I'm talking to someone new, and I'm breaking those unhealthy patterns. But definitely, with this podcast, it has made me really step up to be the true woman, or to live up to whatever their name is, Shay's Heart. So that's why I
Yeah.
speak on podcasts. I speak on those things that God has brought me through: divorce, separation.
Hmm.
I'm an ex-military wife for 8 years. I was a stay-at-home mom. It's
So
just a
you've
lot.
been through it all. You know about the ups and the downs. You could tell everybody else. You guys follow her channel. She's very knowledgeable in the things that she says, and she's been through a lot, so you can learn a lot from her.
And I think God gets all the glory, because I promise you, just looking at now, honestly, let me take these off for a moment. Honestly, because I don't wear these, it's just for fashion, okay? But but definitely, I thank God for being my all in all, being my strength. Because when I tell you, and I don't want to cry on here, I really don't. If I do, you got to
Oh,
excuse me. But God has brought
sometimes you
me
gotta
through a
let it
lot.
out.
I, I literally, I felt as if I lost everything. And I've lived different places with, being an ex-military wife. I lived in Longstow, Germany for 3 months,
Mhm.
went to Venice, Italy for our honeymoon. And after that, went to live on base, San Antonio, Texas, 47 Houston base, stayed there 4 years. And
Mhm.
then Kentucky. Uh, yeah, we went to Kentucky.
Mhm. Fort
Oh,
Campbell.
yeah, Fort Campbell,
Yeah,
Kentucky. Excuse
that's where I was stationed
me.
at.
Slash Clarksville, Tennessee, because
Yeah.
technically the base was in
Half
between
and half. Yeah.
Tennessee. So it depends on which way.
Mhm.
So technically, you can say it's Clarksville, Tennessee. We
Right.
really wasn't in the Kentucky part unless it was on base. But I can definitely say, just with all the experience, and my having my first child away from my family, and just really having to really live, and the fact that I grew up without my birth mother, and my
Okay.
stepmother died. So, and
Oh
then being in
wow.
foster
Sorry to hear
home,
that. Mhm.
then being raped. It's
Oh
just then
wow.
being house to house.
Mhm.
It's just like, and like, no confidence. All my relationships failed. My relationship, with my dad, failed. My dad was an alcoholic for, I don't know how many, since I was 8,
Mhm.
until it's been like 7, 8 years. He's been sober.
Yes.
Our relationship
Thank
was
God.
so bad.
Mm.
Now it's mending. Now we're best of friends. Now he's 56 years old.
That's great. And I know that all of that you had to go through has played a big toll in your relationships and how you made certain decisions and how you just went about your whole lifestyle. And even just having the low confidence about yourself when you were choosing to, be with the people that you wanted to be with. How
Mhm.
did you find yourself getting in the situationship that you had? What was your experience in a short story?
Well, yeah, thank you for saying short. Well, it really, I really didn't see that situationship until it was one.
Hmm.
I knew this guy for 17 years, and I actually, and this is transparency. When I was in high school, I end up, like, how it's a group of people, we all hang out together.
Yeah.
I end up dating one of the guys,
Hmm.
and so he was the best friend of the guy. But I slick liked him back then, but because of the type of girl I was and woman I am now, I would never do that. So it's like I end up bonding a lot with him and the other guy more than anybody else.
Okay.
So when that relationship ended, that was like 10, 11 years ago. And let's say now, like fast forward to now, I
Mm-hmm.
end up getting married at 19, end up having 2 children, end up traveling a little bit, came back to my hometown, Memphis, Tennessee, and then voila, I end up just spending some time with him. And see, the thing was, is just we were best friends. We used to all kick it together.
Right.
So it was
It
never
was like
anything.
someone you can trust and you
Right.
thought you can build with.
And the thing was, I just thought that he was a different type of dude then, because
Right.
I wasn't on that type of stuff, and I never have been. So I was telling him like, hey, I don't trust this situation because
Yeah.
I dated so. And for so long I felt I carried that weight, like, oh man, I'm a female dog going with this. But I really had to deal with that guilt from that. But I released it because I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
fast forward, supported him emotionally. We end up developing a tighter bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 17 months celibate actually before we
Oh
actually did it.
wow. Okay.
And we were in a
And then
situation.
that was something that he was also okay with at the time too.
See, that's what I'm saying. It developed.
Oh,
And the
okay.
crazy thing is the guy, that's why you have to look at relationship patterns.
Right.
Uh, he actually had a huge pattern of being a playboy in high school.
Mm.
And he actually still had a pattern of developing situationships. But me being blind
Oh,
and me being broken, I was like, this
yeah.
is my friend. I'm thinking this okay. We went to school. I
You
was
thought he
not
was going to be able to change for you, being that you guys were so close.
right. I wasn't thinking soberly. So honestly, I can honestly say that it was more of a friendship than anything because
Mhm.
it wasn't a lot of sex.
Oh,
It was mostly talking. We was just like we were in a relationship.
right.
People thought we were together, but we had sex minimum times. But
Right.
sex was involved in that some kind of way.
And then you would think even just going about it that type of way, you would
Mm-hmm.
think that that would even lead to marriage, being that you was trying to do stuff the right way, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the same way on his end. And a lot of times we ignore the red flags, especially during the infatuation period and all of
Yes.
that. And we put on a strong face for everybody else. But then at the same time, deep down inside, everything is not okay. Did you find yourself having to put on a strong face for like your friends or family or people that thought that
Yeah.
everything was good?
Yeah. And see, the thing was, it was like an on and off relationship.
Wow.
Last situationship,
Mm-hmm.
because it would be 3 months we talking here,
Yeah.
then 6 months have passed by. I mean, then 2 months have passed by, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and after every three, and it's like after every three months, that's when
Mm-hmm.
he came around, and I knew it was a sexual thing. And the
Right.
thing was, I tell you, I was so sex attracted to this guy, like, and
That's
see the thing,
usually how it start now.
and see,
Hey, that's
and the
how we
thing,
actually just stay hooked on to them because of that
right?
reason.
The thing is, I'm anybody's ever dated me. I'm not a sexual person.
Right.
Even though I love sex. It's just I wasn't really intimate. I didn't have sex with everybody I dated.
Right.
So they called me a good girl. So it's like for
Mhm.
me in going through the process and just going through the infidelity in that marriage, I was
Mhm.
like, man. And so it's just like I thought I could trust him. I
Right.
trusted him, and I let him in those hard places. And what I
Mhm.
did was I gave him my broken heart, broken
Right.
all shattered pieces, and
Mhm.
his heart broken, and he's over here broken. We're over here broken together,
Right.
trying to form something, and sex came in
Right. And then
and messed
like
up
when it
everything.
didn't work out, all this time, energy, and effort that you put in is just wasted. Do you
Right.
find yourself not being able to have the energy or the strength to redo it all over again while you're in the dating scene right now?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've like thank God I'm past that stage. But when I
Hmm.
was in that point of time of just really just not letting it go, like
Right.
officially,
Hmm.
it it was hard
Yeah.
because my my point of view was just jacked up. Like
Right.
anytime I saw a guy, I'm like, I don't know.
Mm.
Even the guy I'm talking to now, it's like We've been talking for close to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole man. This man have done things in 3 months no man has. He's
Wow.
been there in every way. We pray. I mean, we haven't even had sex, and he's
What a
still there.
blessing. Mm-hmm.
And he wants a commitment. So it's a beautiful thing to have that connection. And I still find myself questioning him in
Right.
my mind now because of that situation. But I went on a whole bunch of dates,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to get over him. I'm like, you know what? And it was so hard. It was almost like, and I hate to use the situation with the situation with the lady with the gorilla glue.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to use that situation because
Right.
it's sensitive, but it's how I felt. I felt as if their relationship would not move. Like no matter
Right.
what I tried to do, no matter what was going on, it's
It
like
just sticks with you.
it was
Right.
like, and then he was always in my head.
And
I'm like,
that's a lot of things. That's a lot that we go through. Like each and every one of us, we have that toxic relationship, situationship, or person that we've dated and it didn't work out, and we used our energy and put our all into it. And some people, they do overcome it, and it's good to have questions. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's good that you still give men a chance and don't hold it against them from what somebody else did. But
mm,
it's normal to feel that way, and a lot of times, a lot of people don't get over that, and they hang that over other people's head, and they miss a good thing sometimes because of what somebody else did. So it's
mm,
good that you were able to at least get to this point right now to where you can say, okay, I acknowledge the situation. I acknowledge how, I even let this happen, and I can learn from it and just be careful next time.
yeah, and you know what? Be honest with you, God gets the glory because
Right.
many nights, like I'm telling you, if it's jars, it's
Mm-hmm.
jars and jars and jars of tears for that man. And the
Oh,
crazy thing is, I'm not the type to cry over a guy, once it don't work. But that dude, I was like boohooing, just depressed
right.
and just not eating for days type of.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I'm like, was it because the penis was that good, or what was it? Like, what was going
I
on
think it's
there?
just because you put so much energy into it and for it not to work out.
Right. And
And-
I think that's what it was. I was trying to save him. And if
Right.
you follow the Jada and Pickett scandal situation, it was
Mm-hmm.
like with the
The
Augusta,
entanglement.
yeah,
Yeah.
entanglement. And
Uh-huh.
so she was attracted to him because he needed her. And I felt like I had this same energy towards this guy because this guy was broken. And here
Mm-hmm.
I am. I want to fix him. I want
Right.
to fix him. I
And
want to
that's what we
mother
tend
him.
to do as women. We
Yeah.
try to fix men. Yeah.
And I want to mother him. I want to be that one where he can say, man, I was lost. And I saw it in my head. I saw him testifying about it. I was
Right.
like, but it was just a lot of ego in there. And it's just, I think it was a lot of potential in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm being honest with you. It's hard because especially since like I can officially say he was the best thing. He was the best I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact moving forward with this guy, in my head, it's like I'm learning how to disconnect that. Even now
Right.
moving forward, because see, one thing God told me was this. You listen to us.
Oh yeah, I got you now.
God, God gave me this. God was like, you need to let go of that little teddy bear so I can give you the big teddy bear.
Okay,
Because
I like that.
see, the thing is, like the toxic guy or the toxic girl or girls or
Mm-hmm.
guys, a lot of times we hold on to one portion of a guy because of sex good, because they listen. But
Right.
God can give you everything. Why tell you this man I'm talking to?
Mm-hmm.
This man is able to fulfill, like I'm serious, even though it hasn't been physical, the intimacy is off the chart.
Right.
So if the intimacy is that well, I don't know what it's like sexually with him. But if the
Wow, that's
intimacy is
powerful.
that well, we've talked about sex. I'm like, nah, we good. Sometimes they come around like, look, we ain't doing nothing. We can hang out. We can do.
Mm-hmm.
I can rub your scalp. I grease this man's scalp. He greased my scalp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like he stimulates me spiritually, mentally, emotionally,
And
and
that's
it.
great. Like when you get somebody that can stimulate you spiritually,
Mhm.
All of the worldly things and physical things do not matter. That's what I be trying to tell people. I be like, okay, you have all of these wants and needs and these list of things that you want from a worldly perspective. But when you get somebody that's on a whole different mindset and you put God into the picture and it's spiritual, then it's a whole nother authentic and unconditional level for you. And it feels so good to know that somebody's going to be there for you regardless of the things that you have going on in your life and what is up to come.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like God can give us better, but a lot of time we settle for the little point. Oh, he did that. And you
Mm-hmm.
start validating the little things that, oh, he called today. That's
Right.
normal.
They all can do that.
Like you went 2 months without calling me that one time. Like, oh yeah, he called. Or you drop everything. It no matter what you do, you drop everything for this person. And
Right.
I found myself in that situation. But I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've always prided myself on being a good girl and being that, but I
Mm-hmm.
felt like a piece of me, like a piece of that egotistical, that mask fell off. And
Mm-hmm.
it literally forced me to take the whole mask off
Right.
because because I can be considered as a church girl. You know what I mean? Even
Mm-hmm.
though I left the church and got came back,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more spiritual. I consider myself more spiritual, but I'm still in a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But that church girl facade, it really messed that up for me, especially
Right.
being born in the church.
Mm-hmm.
But just moving forward and just everything, it's like that revealed a part of uh, uh, a part of my ego that I was holding on to. I'm
Oh,
like, so I'm not a good girl. And so I started getting to a place where in my head, I'm like, well, I'm gonna be that bad bee. I'm gonna be that savage.
yeah.
And then I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit can come in and just change some stuff within you. Cause I'm
It,
like, I was like, no, you've never been that. Even
right.
if you try to do that, you can't be that because that's who you are. At your core, you are love. Because
Right.
I am love. So it was just like God has started coming minister to me, like you in the middle of the night going to like 12 a.m. Then
Mm-hmm.
God speaking to you. God speaking to your body.
Right.
And
It's
like
like he trying to
literally,
bring you back. Like you was trying to find yourself, you saying, okay, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. But God is right here all the time. And now you see the bigger picture. Your eyes are more open.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
I'm
get it.
telling you,
Mhm.
God will bring that, like God will bring, I'm trying to be PG-13. God will bring that fruit back
Right.
into submission. And I'm
Oh
gonna tell you something, like it's been times where it was hard. And so I'll work out, I'll write, I'll do this. It's still there.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that feeling is still there
Right.
because see, being celibate is hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it
So
is.
what I do is honestly, I pray. I promise you, it works out every time. I actually have my Bible in my bed,
Mm-hmm.
and I pray for. I say, God, I need you to hold me. And I promise you, it was as if God just held me for that night. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, God, I just need to go take a hot shower or something. And I can't watch certain things. I can't do certain things. Well, even being in this, being learn. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Even let me slow down because see, I'm from Memphis.
Oh,
I talk.
you so you excited. Like nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that, sis.
I'm learning that the intimacy will actually cool a lot of stuff down because even because it's not spicy, like it's like he's not rushing things.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy, of course. I'm like, no, look, this is my boundary. This is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is this. He knows my history. I know his. So it's a beautiful coming together. But the intimacy, actually, the spiritual and the emotional and all that come together, especially the intimacy we have, like we can
Mm-hmm.
talk for hours about God, about life, about our children, about a lot of different
That's
things.
wonderful.
And so it's just that, in a way, it distanced me to where even though I want the sex, he want the sex, I said we need to do this thing right.
Right.
And
And the and
so
the and the thing that if he is willing to take this time with you because a lot of men are not willing to do that, especially if they just want one thing or they just want certain things out of you, they're eventually going to become impatient. But the being that he's willing to take this time with you, that is a good sign that he's in it for the long run. What would you
that's very
give
much
what kind of advice would you give other women about, just picking men and you just picking them as far as like how you said you had a friend and y'all got into y'all situation and then being that y'all was so close it didn't work out. Like sometimes we can ignore all of that stuff just based off of feelings because we are women. What kind of advice would you give other women as far as like picking the right man and not, just ignoring the red flags?
well, honestly. It's self-work. And I've been doing a lot of self-work since the separation and now being fully divorced. You know what I mean? It's just I take that time out for myself. I found out what I like doing. And I think that makes this situation, not situation, see,
It's so
you
many words for it.
know what?
You
There's so
know,
many words.
yeah, so many words.
I'm say me getting to know this guy. You
Right.
know, I'm say this relationship because he wants to go steady, but this
Mhm.
relationship or this new relationship, and it like going through that time of this self development and working on me, it's really helped me to decide what I like. And
Mhm.
honestly, connecting with my creator, and it's just like a phone, you know, just like this phone right here.
Mhm.
You know, you if it's low, you're gonna have to you can't plug this up in a house with no lights.
Right.
And that's what it's like. And actually, if you go to Shea's Heart to Heart, the podcast,
Mhm.
it's a segment on there. It's titled Connection versus Attachment. And it literally, the analogy, like attachment is just like that.
Mhm.
You know, it's no electricity. You know what I mean? No. Better yet,
It's dead, huh?
no. I'm sorry, that's
No.
not the. You know the plug, the surplus. It's a plug that you put the other plugs inside.
Like the charger, the USB into the port.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So it's like so that's what attachment is like. Situationship is like those attachments. Actually, I have it right here.
Okay.
I can't show you, but it's like you. It's from the store. You're gonna see
Right.
it. But it's just like that, and it's just like imagine a whole bunch of people just being a part of that attachment. You know,
Mhm.
like oh this guy, oh this person, and it's like they have that perfect little slots, but that one. I'm pretty sure it will come to the name will come to my mind. But you put it in a wall, they all connect. But you got to realize it's not the true connection because if you
Right.
actually have one with just one in there,
Mhm.
that's the true connection
Oh,
because
you
it's
talking about the ports? The
yes,
yeah.
yes, of course. My bad.
Yeah.
My
I
mind is
got you.
Lashea
I
for a
got you.
second. Right. And so that's what attachments are like. And so with
Mhm.
situationships, you're allowing these different people to be like ports into that plug. But what you realize, you're going to have a wall like that. You know how when you put the plug in, sometimes all the way in some people's
Mhm.
houses,
Right.
you got to have the right plug and the right source to go into.
Mhm.
And so my source is God. You know what I'm saying? So allowing God to be the filter for that, to sift out all the dishonesty and everything, I can see through all that. And
Right.
I've learned how to trust my intuition and allow God to show me the man for me. And just
Mhm.
like God can give me a man with good sex, a man who can spiritually challenge me, a man who can push my business. I can push his business. His children, my children,
Mhm.
even though his are older than mine, but still, hey, we can have a blended family. Hey, we can come together business wise in
Right.
any area that God has. So a lot of times we settle for sex because it's good. See,
Right.
the thing is, good sex can really break you,
It
but you
can.
can you can have good sex and have a guy who's financially stable, has a guy who's mentally and emotionally stable. You don't have to doctor on his wounds. He's already whole already. And
Right.
even if you go into Genesis, and just to piggyback on someone I follow, Refine TV on YouTube,
Mhm.
so since this will most likely be on YouTube,
Mhm.
go to Refine TV. This guy, he literally used an analogy. He broke down Genesis. And see, the thing is, before Adam got Eve, God had to do a work in him. So it's
I
not
like
a
that.
job of women to work on the man. Like the man has to be submitted to God first. And once he submits to God and do his assignment, then you'll find the same thing for a woman. God has to work on that, your Adam.
Mhm.
And so once he find you his Eve,
Mhm.
then he's already whole.
Right.
But we sell him for broken men trying to fix him. That's the problem.
And I'm glad you said, the filter, because once you let that filter go and your eyes are open and you're using God as your source, you'll be able to attract the people that you need instead of the people that you want. And like you said, it's all about doing the work. When you don't do the work, you will attract people that you don't need in life only based on you not doing the work yourself, because you can find yourself being somebody that you're unevenly yoked with, and that's why it doesn't work out, because you want somebody that's here, a God-fearing man or a God-fearing woman, but you haven't did the work to get there at all. So how would that work out? You'll always bump heads.
And
What kind of advice would, like, what would you tell men that, the men that you say that you had to work on, or you felt like you had the doctor on, or, had to fix? What would you tell them about the intentions of a woman about accepting any type of situationship or relationship that's not going to go anywhere? Like, what would you tell them about what we really want or what we really desire when we accept that?
well, I try not to speak in general because everybody's the same, but I can say from the different people that God has allowed me to counsel, since I'm an aspiring life coach. I'm going through the process of becoming a relationship life coach, and a couple of people have came to me for counseling, and the men that have came to me for counseling, they are always broken. And
Yeah.
these men are broken. They think a woman will fix them. Honestly, you have to, it goes back to the same
Hmm.
answer. You have to connect with your source. And that's the answer to a lot of things. Once you connect to your source, you know your purpose, you know your destiny. And a lot of times these guys are just trying to figure life out through a woman's vagina. So you can't find you. That's not the answer on a woman. You can't find the answer in the guy's penis. And look, I'm speaking from experience, and so I'm living witness now. And this inner glow, it comes from God, because I'm like, okay, God, now I'm seeing that because I had to I had to go through that. But honestly, with guys, honestly, know yourself. Just like Adam, allow God, surrender to God, and allow God to. And again, I'm not trying to come off as religious or anything, because I'm
Right.
very spiritual,
This is
very
your experience. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So definitely connect with your creator and get around men. And this is from counseling other men. Now, get around men that are kings. Stop hanging around jokers,
Right.
because see, you have to look at what type of, or like, who is this guy getting information from? Who is his closest friend? Who is he hanging around? What are their mannerisms? What are their habits? Because
Right.
if he's hanging around someone who uses women like a tool, or women that allows himself to be tools, then what kind of mannerisms do you think he's going to have? Because he's listened to this guy. This guy is in his ear. And the same thing for a woman. The type of female friends you have, or the females you listen to, they're going to
Mhm.
impact your future relationships.
That's true.
So be aware of who you're around, because kings, you never seen a king with a whole bunch of other kings. A king is
You're
by
right.
himself.
By itself.
He ain't win a lot of jokers. So a lot of times these dudes, I got my boys over here. No,
Hmm.
that's still boy like behavior. So honestly, just grow up. If
Right.
you grow up, if you're not ready for her, let a real man get her, because guess what? You're gonna miss out, what, bro? Yeah.
Amen. Amen, sister. Thank you for that information and thank you for
we
your time. I want to do this again because I
will. We
like the way you
will. We will.
talk and I like the information that you have to give and you're so knowledgeable and I like talking to
No,
people that got
honestly, it's all, look, I'm
common
telling
sense.
you. And like, honestly, it's just been through reading a lot of books. It's been through, honestly, inner knowing. A lot of times, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hmm.
Whenever I'm going through a stressful time, I don't reach out to others. I really just pray. I say,
Right.
God, what's going on with me? And so I was like, okay, so I'm upset about this. Okay, what book do I need to read? Where can I get the inspiration? And a lot of times I go to, I've been following your page.
Hmm.
So I follow other people. Like, I'm going to show this, and I look. I got my dating card the other day.
Oh,
This is
let me
Ace
see tonight.
Metaphor.
Let's. Okay.
Check out Ace Metaphor. Like, he
I will
really
do
helped me
that.
through that period of time, because he talks about F boys, and he actually helped me through Derek Jackson. He really helped me through Refine TV. They actually speaking on holistic relationships. So
Hmm.
I actually look up motivational speakers and
Hmm.
people that's uplifting and making you really
Have
dig
you
deep.
heard of Steven Speaks?
Oh yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
like
Stephon
him.
speaks.
Yes.
Stephon speaks. Look,
Yeah.
I
You
love
see,
that
we
man.
own it. We own it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's a whole number of other people. So
Mhm.
definitely, you will. I'm hoping I can come on here again and
Oh
just
yeah, most
have
definitely.
good
I like
wisdom
this talk.
experience. So I can
Mhm.
honestly say I've done it. I've had the good deed, the toxic deed, or the demon
Right.
deed, and that stuff will make you go crazy, make you thinking, like, I'm questioning myself. Why he ain't calling me?
Right.
All
You'll
this
you
bullshit.
drive yourself crazy. I'm just
That makes
glad
me
that you
crazy.
have that strength and knowledge to just do it yourself, like not going to social media or not going to other
Mm.
sources and friends
I
and
blocked
to get
him.
the
He's no longer
answers.
my friend on Facebook.
You go to your book and
Blocked him.
you do it yourself. You do the self work. That is the definition of self work, not having to get all of this information from all of these other people, because they will steer you in the wrong direction. I
Right,
promise you.
right. And thank you so much, sis. And I want to uplift you because see,
Mm.
the crazy thing is, I don't believe in coincidences because see, the thing was, you start. Like, I think I started looking at your stuff on Instagram.
Right.
I have 4 Instagram pages. I have 2 personal,
Hmm.
and I have one Lady Locks 2020. That's my because I'm a hairstylist,
Hmm.
loctician, and then Shay's Heart to Heart. That's the podcast.
Hmm.
Shay Lashea Jackson 524 and Lashea Natural Woman. Those are my 2 personals. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I don't know which one we connect on. I have to get double check.
Right. I don't remember either. I just know I was on Instagram and sometimes stuff pop up. And I seen you, was you in a, I think you was in a car. You was talking
Yeah.
about your situationship. And I said,
Oh yeah.
"Oh,
Oh my gosh.
this is a good topic." And then I start clicking on more videos. I said, "Look at this girl. She
Because you
is
gotta doubt yourself, man. That's
right.
that's that's God
That's
because
God right there."
I'm like, what? I'm like, where go? Like, because see, the thing is, I speak on things God want me to. Even with this Valentine's Day special, it's a counselor. It's a counselor. He does drug and alcohol classes, parenting classes, anger management, and he's a youth pastor at the church I go to.
Hmm.
And he's actually on this new segment. So definitely check out Shea Heart Heart. I will be publishing it this Sunday. I usually publish every Monday, but
Okay.
usually my segments last 30 minutes, 25 to 30
Now, is
minutes.
this on your channel, that the link that you gave me, or is this
I'm
another?
trying to stick.
Is the
It,
YouTube link that you
no, that's
gave
not the
me?
YouTube.
Oh, it's on
This is the
Instagram.
podcast.
Oh, what is that? What is it on?
The podcast, you can find the podcast on Anchor,
Hmm.
Pocket Radio, Spotify, and
Okay.
Apple Podcasts, and it's
Hmm.
2 other ones. And Anchor, you actually, if you want to start a podcast, you can actually go on there and set it up, and it's for free.
Ah, that's what's
And
up.
you can do
Okay.
sponsorship as well. So
Okay,
definitely reach
I
out.
will definitely actually look all of those up, and I will put it down in the description so they can follow you, and I will put your link for your YouTube channel down there as well so they can follow
I'll
you.
send you all my information.
Yeah, just go ahead and thank you. That would be so much easier. And
Yes, I'm
then
gonna send you
I'll
all my
put it
information.
down in the description so they can follow you, cuz they
Yeah,
definitely need to hear you.
I just asked God to be a mouthpiece, and that's it. And I'm very humbled that my situation, and that was not easy to talk about today, but
Right.
definitely, and just I say, just be safe. Know that God has better for you.
Yes.
Be patient with yourself.
All righty. You have a great, blessed day, and I'm happy to have you on. Thank you for speaking with me today. And that's it.
Yes, yes. Next time, sis. Bye, y'all.
Bye.